Welcome into the bunker of General Gridiron, Field Marshal of Football Forecasting. We're about to map out the way this college football weekend is going to go. Will your favorite team be marching to victory, or will the enemy be taking your battle flag? This weekend, things are really cooking in Texas, and we've got you covered on the Red River Shootout and Bama A&M. So grab your helmet and man those battle stations. Get ready for another round of General Gridiron's football foretelling. South Carolina at Georgia. UGA alum William Lawrence Muschamp returns to the hedges for what seems to be an impossible ask. Beat the alma mater, a number 3 alma mater. Probably didn't think back in the early 90s he'd be leading a visiting team into Sanford Stadium, but Lumpkin Street does have a knack for making one think outside the box. Kirby Smart, who once slept on Muschamp's couch during their early coaching days in Valdosta, is appreciative of the hospitality shown throughout the decades. However, the short, stocky, visored one might end up sleeping on a couch again and in a big old doghouse if he loses this one to them Carolina boys. The Generals victor, Georgia. Penn State at Iowa. PSU checks in at number 10 this week. The Beaver Stadium bunch are 5-0 and have kind of been in the shadows of the Ohios hovering high in the rankings. James Franklin's perfectly okay with that kind of no-respect treatment. Keep winning and let the cards fall where they may. This Saturday trip to Iowa City will be a doozy, as the Hawkeyes are still in triage after their loss at the Big House in Week 6. This top 20 contest is one of the weekend's ones to watch. Look for Nittany Lion defensive end Shaka Toney to have a big day and help silence the home team. The Generals victor, Penn State. Oklahoma versus Texas. Since 1886, the State Fair of Texas has thrilled spectators with rides, candy apples galore, and brisket aplenty. Across the street at the house that Doak built, the Texas OU game, or OU Texas, or better known by the renegade moniker Red River Shootout, will go down for the 114th time, having been played in Big D as early as 1912. The historians will be etching this contest in the books upon kickoff. These rivals are both really good and are the favorites to battle again for Big 12 supremacy. It helps that this game pits a number 11 Horns team and a number 6 Land Grabbers Legion with a potential Heisman winner under center. Jalen Hurts is going to have a good time at Cotton Bowl Stadium, but the Golden Hat Trophy will go atop a bunch of bovines. The Generals victor, Texas. Florida State at Clemson. James Blackman is set to return as the Garnet and Gold starting quarterback when they pitch their TP in Tigertown. But since postseason baseball's in full swing, to borrow an analogy from that sport, Wisconsin transfer Alex Hornibrook is waiting in the bullpen and rearing to throw a 100-mile-per-hour fastball right on top of that Tiger D. Willie Taggart's team has a little more life in them. An impressive Week 5 win over Atlantic Division foe NC State will do that. But hold on, Chief. Clemson's had a week to figure out their almost loss of epic proportions in Chapel Hill. The tandem of Trevor Lawrence and T. Higgins will be deadly in Death Valley. The Generals victor, Clemson. Mississippi at Missouri. Since the new millennium kicked off nearly 20 years ago, the Rebels turned Land Sharks of the University of Mississippi have not been able to whoop up on that borderline Yankee school. They're 0-3 against Mizzou. Matt Luke's powder blue pigskinners returned to Como for the first time since Ed Orgeron was leading the Reb Sharks back in 2006. This is arguably the biggest weekend on the MU campus. It's homecoming, where the great college football tradition actually started. The ESPN2 cameras will capture the Gold Rush fun at Faurot Field, and that excitement will roll on throughout the night. The Generals victor, Missouri. Just ahead on General Gridiron, the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii surf over to the tributaries of southwestern Idaho, looking for an upset of the Broncos. And the 12th man might want to expand as the number 1 Crimson Tide is heading their way. Keep it here. General Gridiron will be right back.
I was living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Hello, soldiers. This is General Gridiron back with you. Each week, this fabulous football forecast is heard on some of the finest radio stations where college football reigns supreme. In Lebanon, Kentucky, on WBRT FM 94.9, serving Central Kentucky for over 60 years. And WWIC AM 1050, Jackson County's home for Scottsboro Wildcats Radio and the Auburn Tigers in Scottsboro, Alabama. We appreciate all of our radio affiliates. Now, let's get back into the football fight. USC at Notre Dame. These national rivals have met 90 times, and only two stadiums can lay claim to hosting the battle for the jeweled shillelagh. Both schools' venerable football museums, Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum and Notre Dame Stadium. Brian Kelly's one-loss bunch is the only representative here that plays in Mayor Pete's town as a ranked team. Kelly's counterpart on the opposite sideline has those heaters firing up, and that's not to survive a northern Indiana night. Clay Helton's seat is really getting hot, and another loss to the Leprechauns, and he might be hitchhiking back west. The Generals victor, Notre Dame. Florida at LSU. An SEC cross-divisional series that's pretty darn balanced. In 65 meetings total, the Water Lizards hold a 33-29-3 lead over their Bayou buddies. And since the old ball coach took over in Gainesville 30 years ago, this game has meant a lot more to fans, the conference, and the national championship race. Two guys that once helmed the two Mississippi schools are coaching this top 10 Donnybrook of unbeatens. Dan Mullen did a lot better in the Magnolia State 662 area code than Coach O did at the home of Chicken on a Stick. But Orgeron and the Tigers had the Gators area code dialed in, and this will be a classic Saturday night in Death Valley. The Generals victor, LSU. Hawaii at Boise State. The Rainbow Warriors head to Boise for a pivotal Mountain West matchup. The Green and White have only one setback on their schedule, a loss to the Pac-12's Washington Huskies. This nighttime battle in Idaho's capital city should be an offensive thing of beauty. The Wild Horses of BSU are sitting pretty at number 14 and have no losses. It doesn't help UH's cause that they're 1-17 all time against nationally ranked teams on the road, with its only victory against number 22 Fresno State back in 2008. Since then, the Hawaiians have lost their last 6 games. Enough said. The Generals victor, Boise State. Louisville at Wake Forest. Louis the Cardinal Bird flies south to hibernate on Tobacco Road. Not wise, Louis. Not wise at all. That angry preacher man is hot to trot in 2019, and no little red bird better come near his pulpit and try to upset a flawless start to the season. What Dave Clawson's done in Winston-Salem is rather impressive, but doubting Thomases agree, the Deeks really haven't played a formidable opponent yet, and the U of L goes down as another prelude to that November 16th contest at Clemson. Play that fight song, spirit of the old gold and black. The Generals victor, Wake Forest. Alabama at Texas A&M. You don't have Johnny Football to kick around the gridiron anymore, so this one's lost a little bit of the glow since A&M's thunderclap of an entry into the Southeastern Conference almost a decade ago. On this CBS Saturday afternoon special from Kyle Field, Jimbo Fisher will try to best his old boss, something he's not very good at. Tua Tagovailoa and the Tide come crashing their Crimson Wave into the Brazos Valley with a top ranking in tow. Big Al will keep it close for a bit, but the cracks will appear in the Ag's boots in the fourth quarter. The Generals victor, Alabama. We've already looked at the weekend's biggest battles across the nation, but hang on to your helmet, there's more around the corner. We'll be back in a moment to wrap up this week's General Gridiron with our rapid fire picks.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
This is General Gridiron back with you. We've already maneuvered through this weekend's frontline college football showdowns. Now it's time to fix bayonets and storm the field with our rapid-fire football forecast. Cincinnati claws Houston. Washington wins at Arizona. Mississippi State mauls Tennessee. Utah scalps Oregon State. Navy nukes Tulsa. Kentucky continues Arkansas's agony. Baylor topples Texas Tech. Memphis wins impressively at Temple. Washington State is pass happy at Arizona State. Minnesota in a tight one against Nebraska. Air Force outflanks Fresno State. Yale drills Dartmouth. Michigan wins again at Illinois. Southern Miss to the top versus North Texas. Maryland sneaks past Purdue. Army invades Western Kentucky. West Virginia shoots down Iowa State. Wisconsin waxes Michigan State. BYU runs over South Florida. And Duke embarrasses Georgia Tech. Well, soldiers, you can now put your swords back in their scabbards. We're all out of picks on this Week 7 edition of General Gridiron. We'll be back again next week, same General Gridiron time, same General Gridiron station. So don't forget to tune us in on the radio, Facebook, YouTube TV, or download the Y'all Show free on iTunes Podcast. And please don't forget to tell your friends all about the show. Simply search for General Gridiron. This is John Rawl, the General of Gridiron Glory, thanking you for letting me be a part of your weekend celebration. General Gridiron is a production of Y'all. For more, log on to y'all.com, the ultimate guide to the South.
That'll be all. Y'all.